Hey everybody, this is Fran Fraschella, draft expert and basketball junkie. To everybody who's watching, let's get our friends at General Manager Games the subscribers they deserve. Just press that red subscriber button and immerse yourself in sports AI through GM Games content. And on Twitter, it's GM_games. Let's get after it. Let's go.
Hey everybody, welcome back to this Toronto Blue Jays career sim. I'm JayBlue at Jays From Away, and you're watching on the General Manager Games Network. We are here at the beginning of spring training for our third season. So we're just going to set up our lineups, and we'll talk about some of the races for spots, and I just want to check out and see if we can have last year's pitching stats, but we can't. We're going to set these up for spring training so that we'll see the spring training games as they go along. So our pitching staff right now, we've got 27 pitchers in camp. I think that's our 40-man roster, so we've got a lot of pitchers. I'm just going to go for the Ask Bench Coach for staff because yeah, I think there's nothing unusual here. Colton Eastman is where did we get him? Oh, he was a Rule 5 draft pick, right. So Colton Eastman is our Rule 5 draft pick, and yeah, there's nothing really surprising here with our starting rotation, with our bullpen and how things are setting up. Scott Oberg is another guy we brought in. I think we picked him up on waivers. No, free agent. Yeah, we picked him up as a free agent. He is, I think, it's funny, I have no memory. Maybe you guys can refresh my memory. It's funny, I have no memory of signing Scott Oberg. But he was pretty good out of Colorado, and we're giving him a lot of money, $7 million. So that's kind of weird. So Rafael Dolis, he's injured. He's gone for the year. We're going to put him on the injured list, on the 60-day injured list for ever. Probably till his contract runs out. At the end of the year. Our starting pitchers, Nate Pearson is our number 1. James Paxton, who we signed in the offseason, is number 2. He's looking for a rebound season. We've got him on a 1-year deal for $6 million. Anthony Kay is slotting in at number 3, Sean Reed Foley at number 4, and Hyunjin Ryu is number 5. And Ryu was pretty bad last year after a first solid season with the Blue Jays, 3.21 ERA in 126 innings. He really took a steep dive off the cliff last year for a 5.57 ERA. And throwing almost the same number of innings, but he walked a lot more guys and struck out a lot fewer. So, looking to step up in, if he fails, we have several people sort of waiting in the wings. We have Patrick Murphy could probably start, although his debut season in Buffalo was pretty bad. Spencer Turnbull can definitely start. Paul Campbell can definitely start. Elvis Luciano is getting closer. He's had 2 seasons in New Hampshire, so he's probably going to be in Buffalo to start the year. Shun Yamaguchi has been really good as a long relief guy. Spencer Turnbull could start. He was much better last season as a reliever than as a starter. So we do have some candidates. We have Paul Campbell, we have Zach Eflin, we have Spencer Turnbull. And Trent Thornton, he was really bad last year, so I'm not going to bring his name into the picture. So we do have guys who can start. Scott Oberg, I think, has 3 pitches, so he could be a borderline starter as well, even though they say he's just a bullpen guy. We also have Chad Green, who is coming off a very poor year with the Yankees. We got him on a very low deal. He's 30 years old, so he could be on the downside of his career, but he has been at one time he was, lights out, 103 strikeouts and 69 innings in 2017 and 94 strikeouts and 75 2/3 innings in 2018 for the Yankees. So we definitely have some depth here in the bullpen now that we were kind of lacking last year. Behind Ken Giles, of course, we have Green, Kyle Keller, Scott Oberg. These guys are all new. Yohan Lopez was in the system last year. We picked him up towards the end of the season. So we've got a lot of guys who have some potential. And of course, Danny Jimenez, Wade Davis, Julian Fernandez, who was not good in the major leagues last year or in Buffalo. That's Julian Fernandez. So, yeah, Julian Fernandez never made the major leagues, but he wasn't good in Buffalo. He's walked more than he's struck out. So I'm actually going to send him right down to Buffalo. These guys all should get Patrick Murphy. I'm going to send down to Buffalo. Oh, he's out of options. Okay, so Patrick Murphy is going to be an interesting guy. I have a feeling he's not going to get picked up on waivers, but we'll send him down towards the end of spring training. And same goes, we have a couple of lefties. Tim Meza has not been great, but he was actually okay last year, and Ryan Baracki has really struggled at the major league level, at least in this sim. On the other side of things, we don't have a ton of guys. We have Danny Jansen, Alejandro Kirk, and Gabby Moreno are our catchers. And the way it's looking now, Moreno is really the best prospect of the bunch, but I do want to give him a season in AAA, maybe half a season, before he comes to the majors. So I'm actually going to switch these two guys around, but Moreno is probably not going to play too much, but I want to see what Kirk can do. We don't have a lot of depth here, especially for infielders. We have basically our starting infield. We don't have any backup guys. So I'm going to just take a look at Buffalo. And Ruben Tejada I'm going to offer him an invite to spring training. I don't know if I can do that. Maybe I have to do that in the rosters page. Spring training roster. Yeah, so I can just add him to the spring training roster. Let's see. Ruben Tejada. He was actually one of our best infielders. Same thing with Kevin Smith. I can add these guys to our spring training roster. Even Kevin Vicuña. We need infielders. I mean, that's really where we're short players. We don't have really a backup infielder. So maybe one of these guys can grab a backup infielder spot for the major league team. Biggio, Garcia, Bichette, and Guerrero, and that's it. So I may take a look also in the free agent market as we get closer to the start of the season. I may take a look in the spring training market. And Santiago Espinal here, he's listed as a center fielder, but he's mostly an infielder. I think I might have wanted to get him some time in center field, but I actually want Yusniel Diaz to get as much time in center field as I can in spring training, because he is going to be, I think, our regular center fielder, and I want him to get those stats up. All right, here we go. We're going to actually start playing some spring training games. We have an important message, and it's just that spring training begins. Review spring training roster. We've already done that, and we're going to autoplay till next week. So here we go. We have started. We are 2-0, and that was it. We just played 2 games, 3 games, because we have that one. So if you looked at our first game in spring training, we'll take a quick look at these. I mean, it's not that important. It's spring training. Looking at sort of the overall stats as things go is probably a little bit better and more accurate. Caught home runs from Grichuk and Biggio in the first game. Paxton started. He was pretty good. Just gave up a solo home run. And the bullpen was really good in that second game. In that first game. In the second game, we beat Houston 1-0. There's Mookie Betts playing for the Houston Astros. Another hit for Biggio. A couple hits for McKinney. They're both pretty hot. And Anthony Kay was really good on the mound, and the bullpen was really good on the mound. Go us. And in this game, third game, 15-7 loss to the Angels. Obviously not a good one. But Billy McKinney was just rocking there. He had a double and a triple. Home runs for Alejandro Kirk, Kevin Smith, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. On the mound, Sean Reed Foley was very good, but Elvis Luciano, Ryan Baracchi, and Patrick Murphy all got smacked around. So these guys are probably not going to be on the Major League roster, but it's good to see what's going to go on with some of these guys. All right, we're going to autoplay till next week. And we're 2-1. We have a personal message, and that's our player development update. Nate Pearson loses a little bit of control. Potential rating drops. James Paxton loses control and potential movement rating. And this, again, especially for somebody coming into our organization from outside, this could be just our scouts getting a look at him and saying, yeah, he's not as good as we thought he was. Gabby Moreno is improving across the board here, power and speed rating going up. Kevin Smith improves his contact. Michael Toglia, who we picked up, I think, in a trade last year in the offseason. We signed him to a minor league deal in a trade, right, with Colorado. So Toglia we picked up. He has potential rating has dropped a little bit, but the current I has gone up. Antonio Saldana improves his current and potential control. Felipe Castaneda is improving. Spencer Horowitz is improving. Otto Lopez is improving. Really nice improvement. Let's see if he can actually have a decent year. Miguel Geraldo loses some speed, but his eye improves and his defensive rating at third base improves. Johnny Aiello improves a little bit. Power and contact. Orelvis Martinez loses a little bit in his potential eye, but his current power improves. Liam Norris here with some potential movement dropping, current control and current stamina improving. Gary David, potential power. Joseph Califat, now we're getting into some of our really low minor league guys. Califat has a mixed bag here. Potential contact goes down, but current contact goes up. Potential power goes down. Current eye goes up. Overall potential rating goes down. Wyatt Langford, potential eye drops from 70 to 65. Current contact goes up from 30 to 35. Rainer Nunez, potential eye drops. Defensive rating improves. Jean-Christophe Maston, potential eye rating drops. And potential rating, overall rating improves to 1 star. Alfredo Chacon, he loses a lot on the potential. He's a guy that a lot of people were kind of after in trades. So we do get a general idea. Some of these guys are going up, some of these guys are going down. That's pretty much how things are working. We are through just one more game before that email came in. It was a win, 8-3 at the Detroit Tigers. Vladdy Guerrero hit a home run. Yusniel Diaz hit a home run. Again, really nice to see that, we want Diaz to be playing every day in center field. Really working on that defense. Hyunjin Ryu was okay. Yamaguchi was good. Colton Eastman, our Rule 5 draft pick, was meh. Gave up a run. Ken Giles was, fine. And back to the simulation. And away we go. Vladdy Guerrero in the top 3 in OPS. We have a trade proposal from the Seattle Mariners. They want to send us Cade Marlowe, who is not very overwhelming. He's a minor league outfielder, 24 in the Sally League, which is a low A league, and they want Joey Murray, and so they're not going to get Joey Murray for that guy. Joey Murray has gotten to Double A, and he's a guy who's sort of in the mold of someone like Tanner Roark or Matt Shoemaker, maybe in at least the way the game treats him, maybe with a little better stuff, but he's got great stuff. His fastball is fine, but he's got great off-speed stuff. Control is going to be fringy, but his movement is really low. So he's going to give up a lot of home runs. He doesn't have a lot of velocity. So he's going to be relying on control, and if his control isn't fantastic, then he's going to get dinged. So we're just going to continue playing. We're a 6-5 record so far. Another trade proposal. Another team is looking to get Joey Murray. So that's a good thing to see, is when teams are inquiring and they're not offering much. So yeah, we're going to ignore you. Okay. Another proposal here, the Detroit Tigers also trying to get Murray. Oscar Tovar they're offering, but again, they're not offering much, and nobody really is. And it's pretty insulting, I would say. And we're just going to sim till Monday. And now we're going to make our first round of cuts. We picked up a prospect here. He is Edgar Cardenas. He's probably not going to be much. So now this is where the rubber meets the road. So James Paxton, not great. Ryan Borucki, injured. Borucki has had a history of injury. So Paxton, interesting. Like, he's got a high ERA, but his strikeout to walk ratio is excellent. Pearson doing very nicely. Anthony Kay doing very nicely. So these guys are off to a very good start. Our starting five, very good start here. Colton Eastman has struggled a little bit, but a good strikeout to walk ratio. Paul Campbell, not a lot of strikeouts. 5 strikeouts is actually pretty good. He's been doing pretty well. Zach Eflin, not great. Now, is Eflin, is he out of options? Yes, he is. So Eflin is going to be one of the last guys we make a decision on. Danny Jimenez is off to a good start. No hits in 2 2/3 innings. Really, not a lot of guys are doing poorly. So Elvis Luciano, we can send him down to AAA. That's an easy decision. Get him a taste. Patrick Murphy, we're going to have to put him on waivers because he is out of options. Tim Meza doing well. Scott Oberg, he's 32 and he's struggling. So this could be a red flag, but we're paying him a lot of money. $7 million. So he better turn his season around and get his act together. Yohan Lopez hasn't pitched. So I'm actually going to send him down if I can. Yeah, that's an easy decision. Kyle Keller, a 28-year-old, so he's probably going to stick on the team. He's doing okay. Jordan Romano is doing okay, but I have a lot of guys, and if I can send him down, I will. Curtis Taylor, same thing. He's doing okay, but I have a lot of guys. If I can send him down, I will. Trent Thornton. With 20 pitchers right now on the staff, I need those easy decisions. Ken Giles stays. Shun Yamaguchi stays. He's doing excellent. 10 strikeouts. Spencer Turnbull. I'm going to keep him around a little bit. Ty Tice I can send to Buffalo. Trent Thornton hasn't been bad, but he's also suffering from the low movement. Kyle Keller is okay. We claimed him on waivers, so we don't have a ton invested in him, but I do like his overall profile there. And Chad Green, Zach Eflin needs to go through waivers. Paul Campbell, I think I can send down. Yeah. We still have to send down like 5 players, and if Borucki is injured, that actually makes my decision a little bit easier. So that would be 1. Colton Eastman, I'd have to decide on whether to keep or let go. He's got a lot of potential, and I like what I see. Eflin is very borderline, and I think I'm going to have to put him on waivers. Danny Jimenez can probably go down, so that would be 3 if we count Ryan Borucki. And then Trent Thornton I can send down. That would be 4. And then I'd have to make a decision between someone like Scott Oberg, who's getting a lot of money, Spencer Turnbull, who's not. But I might have to put him through waivers. Yeah, he's out of option years. So there are going to be some tough decisions to make as we get towards the regular season starting. So far, what do we have here? Vladdy Guerrero is going bonkers. Hopefully he'll do that when the season starts. We've got some decent numbers here from Danny Jansen, and Alejandro Kirk is also putting up some excellent numbers. Gabby Moreno is doing okay, but I think he definitely will need some more seasoning. Ryan Noda's, he's got a big OBP. He's getting plenty of opportunity. Kevin Biggio is starting to do well. Luis Garcia is struggling. Kevin Smith is doing fairly well. Bo Bichette is doing very nicely. Ruben Tejada very nicely. Kevin Vicuña is not doing well. Lourdes Gurriel not doing well. Billy McKinney is hitting quite well. Yusniel Diaz is kind of sucking right now. Santiago Espinal is doing pretty well. Randall Grichuk guy. He's hitting home runs, but he's not doing anything else really. And JD Martinez is a stink bomb. All right, we're going to autoplay a little bit now that we've made our first round of cuts. Okay, so Ryan Borucki is making a decision very easy on us. So we're going to put him on the injured list. We'll put him on the 60-day injured list just in case. So that makes things quite easy. Yeah, Ryan Borucki injury diagnosis is that message. And Hyunjin Ryu has a day-to-day. I'm going to put him on the injured list just so he doesn't... we'll put him on the 15-day injured list just so he doesn't continue to pitch and injure himself further. And Ryu is definitely one of these guys who can, if he doesn't pitch a ton, that's, we're going to expect that. And we're going to just keep simming till the end of, we have to review our DFA list. And I'm just going to check our schedule quickly. So, okay, Patrick Murphy has cleared waivers, so we're going to send him outright to the minor leagues. Now, they don't really model properly outrights and things like that in this game. It's pretty complicated, some of these rules and regulations that they have. Where are we here? Team schedule. So, yeah, they're not really differentiating here between the start of the big league season, I think is the 31st, and the exhibition season. Yeah, so opening day is going to be the 31st. So we still have another several days to get through. So we're going to continue our sim. And Billy McKinney is going to be okay, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. All right, we are here Saturday, March 26th. I wonder why it's saying continue play game with White Sox. Anyhow, we're going to head, so we're still in MLB Spring. I don't know why they want me to play that game, but I'll finish today. And we've received a trade proposal. They want Lourdes Gurriel, and they're going to offer us Jake Shiner, who has some pretty good minor league stats. Third baseman. So we could definitely use a third baseman, but he's 26 and he's in AA, so that's not really much. And they want Lourdes Gurriel, so that's not going to be much of a good deal for us. We're going to finish today, and it is another win, 9-5, and where are we? The 28th. We're going to finish today, and no game. So, okay, so now we're heading just towards opening day. Now we're going to cut our roster down. So we have 16 players. We need to get that down to 13. Colton Eastman wasn't bad, so I'm going to keep him around a little bit longer. Spencer Turnbull filled in as a reliever. We're still waiting for our good friend Hyunjin Ryu. He's got 1 day left on the injured time, 3 days left on the injured list, and we have 1 day before opening day. So he's going to start the season on the injured list, but I think we're going to be able to do it so that he will be able to make his first start. Although he's not really stretched out. It's a tough one. I may assign him to Buffalo to get a start in for a rehab outing. If he was somebody who was coming off a great season and was our ace, I would probably throw him in, even if it was an abbreviated start. But otherwise, yeah. So let's go back to our pitching staff. So we have a couple of guys we need to cut. So I'm going to send Danny Jimenez back to the minors, because we just need guys to cut. Scott Oberg has turned things around. Trent Thornton has been very good in spring training. That's very encouraging, but we have so many guys that he is going to have to go down to AAA. So now we're down to 14 pitchers. Spencer Turnbull is filling in here. I'm not the most thrilled about that. Shun Yamaguchi, I mean, he's not stretched out, but he does have the stamina, and he has 4 pitches. I'm inclined to make Shun Yamaguchi our 4th starter, send Spencer Turnbull down to Buffalo. Oh, and he's out of option years too. So it's going to be between Eflin and Turnbull, and I think Turnbull's the guy who's going to go down. Wave player designated for assignment. So Turnbull's going to go down, and this is going to be our staff. And I'm going to ask bench coach for bullpen. So our staff is going to be Pearson, Paxton, who has been struggling, Anthony Kay, Sean Reed Foley, and Shun Yamaguchi to start the season. Hyunjin Ryu, once he's eligible to come off the injured list, he is going to do a rehab assignment in Buffalo, and once he's done with that, he'll come back to the major leagues. I think I'll give him 1 start in Buffalo. And then I have to make another decision on who goes down from the major leagues. And it could be Sean Reed Foley, but he's been solid so far in spring training. It could be someone like Colton Eastman. We just say, you know what, the Rule 5 pick wasn't worth it. It could be Zach Eflin. Everyone else has either a big contract or is Kyle Keller is a guy who could go, but I do love that strikeout potential. So this is our spring training, the guys who have graduated are going to make our opening day lineup. So we're going to send Gabriel Moreno to Buffalo. We're going to send Ryan Noda to Buffalo. We're going to send Kevin Smith to Buffalo. He had a fantastic spring. We're going to send Ruben Tejada to Buffalo. And Kevin Vicuña is going to go to Buffalo. Actually, Vicuña is not going to go to Buffalo, Vicuña is going to go to Buffalo. He wasn't very good. Demote to AAA Buffalo, but we're actually 1 player short, so this gives me the opportunity to bring somebody like Kevin Smith and put him on the roster. So I'm going to promote him to Toronto. He's getting on the 40-man roster. We now have Kevin Smith. Yeah, he had a phenomenal spring training, and he had a lot of at-bats. 57 plate appearances, hit 3 home runs. So, 19 hits, a double, a triple, 3 home runs. He has some defensive versatility. He can play third, he can play short. Good defensive numbers. He's got good potential here. I think he's going to be a very good very useful guy. In terms of overall numbers, who had a good spring training, who didn't? Yusniel Diaz did not. He's going to be suspended for the first game, so he's not going to play that first game. Santiago Espinal did, and he's going to be sort of our key backup infielder, especially at second base and shortstop. JD Martinez, it was okay. Randall Grichuk, not great. Again, more home runs than anything else. But he did walk, and he did get his OBP up to 298. Billy McKinney had a solid spring. Lourdes Gurriel did not. And Gurriel has lost his starting job to McKinney. Alejandro Kirk had a pretty decent spring, but Danny Jansen had a really good one. So that really gives me some optimism for Jansen breaking out a little bit. Vladdy Guerrero had a phenomenal spring training. He led the team in home runs. He had a 1.182 OPS. And Bo Bichette was okay. Hit 310, 375, 431. So very solid spring for Bo Bichette. We were kind of exposed on the infield, and Luis Garcia, not great. So Kevin Smith could usurp that role. And in fact, I'm going to have him playing a little more often. I'm going to have him play a little more often just so that he can get some reps and we can see if that's kind of a mirage or not. if Garcia can do what he did last year, I'm somewhat happy. I do want to see some improvement, especially in his eye. So this is our opening day roster, folks. Really, the only one who's on the injured list that was going to make it no matter what was Hyunjin Ryu. And we do have a lack of depth in starting pitchers and in infielders, and especially backup infielders. So we're going to hit the free agent market. We're also going to check the waiver wire a little bit. We do have money to play with, so that is very good. And we're just looking for infielders who can play. So we have here Ari Adrianza. Again, not going to help very much. And that's sort of the problem is, at this point, we're finding guys who generally are not going to help too much. I remember we looked at Starlene Castro, and he could actually be a solution. I'm not crazy about this, but as a backup guy, he wants $4.6 million. But it's a minor league deal with a major league option. I would offer him $2 million and ask him if he's interested in that. He's not interested in that, so we're going to say bye for now. Starlene Castro, Yoenis Cespedes hasn't been hitting very well in his career. Brian Dozier, a 34-year-old, with some decent offensive numbers recently. The defense is rather poor, and he can only play second base, so he's not going to make for a good backup infielder. So that's unfortunate. I wish he could have put a little bit more defense with the offense. Travis Shaw is still a free agent. We don't need to go get him. Jonathan Villar, also a free agent. He came to the Blue Jays in real life in a trade at the deadline this season. But Villar offers defense at second base. He's got some speed. He's got some bat ability. And he's not asking for anything. So it means he wants a minor league contract with a $4.2 million deal. Let's see if he'll do it for 3. Yep, he's going to do it for 3. So we're going to submit an offer to pick up Jonathan Villar. We get a little bit of defensive flexibility. And again, we don't have to promote him. So that is a pretty good, deal for us. And now it starts to get a little bit thin in terms of the pickings. We're going to check out the pitchers now. We do want some starters, or at least one starter who can fill in. Mike Leake is not looking like an option. Andy Nelson, all capitals. He's never pitched before. He's 24. So he could be a guy I can go and get for... Let's just double check his. Yeah, he's got 3 decent pitches. I don't know where he's come from, but we can offer him a contract. He just wants a minor league deal. And so I'm going to submit an offer. Just get him on a minor league deal. If we can, he could offer some depth. We also have Jeff Samardzija, Julio Teheran. Again, these are legit major leaguers. Riley Thompson, starting pitcher from the minors, hasn't been good. He's also got movement issues. But he's another guy got signed to a minor league deal for no money. And again, if we can have some guys in the high minors, AA, AAA, Homer Bailey. And a lot of these guys are just, that's not good enough for us right now. Dietrich Enns. Yeah, we need somebody who's got a little bit more of a track record, higher levels, and we're sort of getting to some guys who probably will never make the most out of their potential. Casey Lawrence, former Blue Jay Casey Lawrence. They probably have him. Oh, there's a starter, but that movement is pretty bad. I love Casey Lawrence. He's a great guy. But we're looking for something a little bit more from our pitchers. Alex McRae. So not a lot out there. I'm not ready to give a guy $4 million just yet, but it is revealing that we do have a big gap in our depth for starting pitching. So there are some guys out there that we might be able to pick up. Samardzija, Mike Leake. Really the best of this bunch looks like almost Homer Bailey. And he wants a minor league deal with a major league option. He only wants $1.7 million. I'm going to meet that demand and I'm going to submit that offer. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to call it the day for this sim. And next sim, we are going to set up the minor leagues for the 2022 season. And if we have time at the end of that, we will sim our first week of baseball. So thanks for joining me. I'm JayBlue at Jays From Away, and you're watching on the General Manager Games channel.